This is the story of Ishola Oyenusi, also known as Dr. Oyenusi. He was one of Nigeria's most feared armed robbers that terrorized the city of Lagos and its environs in the 1970s. Dr. Oyenusi was no doctor. In fact, he wanted to become a medical doctor. That was his childhood dream. But unfortunately, his parents did not have the resources to take him to school. So he chose a different path. He was known to be smart, very industrious as a young boy, and quite innovative. This life on the streets exposed him to so many things at an early stage, and due to that, he chose the life of crime. He was known to be breaking into houses, conning people, and all sorts of vices. For someone at his age, it was too early to start that. And he was always in and out of jail, and this made him very, very popular with the law. It was said that he escaped jail for about 8 times, and this was no ordinary record for a young man like him. Because of how good he was with crime and other vices, he began to expand his operations. He became very much aware of the tactics that police used to use and also how people behave. So he chose to start robbery. And one of his first recorded cases was when he robbed a man off his car in Lagos in Habad Macaulay Expressway. Unfortunately, he killed the occupant of that vehicle, and this became his MO as he never leaves any victim alive. It was said that he used the proceeds from that robbery to lavish it on his girlfriend. He bought her gifts and they squandered the money on nightclubs and other activities. From there, he proceeded to robbing so many other cars and people. And from there, he now saw it was wise for him to have a gang of his own. So he recruited different people. Some of his accomplices were Joseph Osama Dike, Ambrose Nwokobia, who was a very fierce person, Joel Amameye, Philip Obolume, Ademola Adebitan, and Stephen Udobuku. These people terrorized the streets of Lagos and its environs, and they were known for robbing banks, factories, hotels, and different places where they felt they could get money. And they used an ambush style of approach in most of their operations. They used to shoot sporadically into the air to disperse people and not minding if they kill people along the way. And this obviously caught the attention of the Nigerian police, and the government were not happy with this. So they decided to create a task force because there was no need before to create such a task force because such cases of robberies were not popular during that time. And the task force, the police, and the military did a very good job because they had to come up with strategies fast to put an end to all this menace created by Dr. Oyenusi and his fearless gang. Another thing that caught the attention of the police was the fact that it was rumored that he attacked a police station in a local area, and all the police and other people there ran away. And he was also feared because he was said to have charms that made him impossible to kill and also to be caught. So this generated fears in the hearts of the people. But when the task force was formed, they started doing investigations properly. They started going after his known associates, people that actually have done something with him before. They knew they had to go about this the right way. The head of the task force was like, hey, why don't we go ahead and ambush this guy whenever he attempts to ambush a place? So they set up a special anti-robbery team that had the capacity to match up Dr. Oyenusi's capacity. And the D-Day came when Dr. Oyenusi and his gang tried to rob a factory known as the Wahum factory then in Lagos. They carted away with $28,000 and were almost about to escape when they met the anti-robbery team and they started firing against each other. It was a fierce battle that even led to the death of a popular constable then known as Mr. Nwi, but eventually the gang was overpowered and Dr. Oyenusi was taken into custody. Even when he was arrested, he was smiling and confident that he was going to escape because he had escaped them so many times before and he believed there was no jail that was capable of holding him back. But all these tactics were known by the new task force, so they deployed every measure that was able to counter all his tactics that he used to escape before. And it was when he realized that he couldn't escape anymore, that was when he now gave up the names of the rest of his gang members and they were all apprehended and brought to justice. A tribunal was set up for their matter and it was quite speedy because the government wanted to make an example of them for others that might want to think of such activities, and they have sentenced him to death by firing squad. This was the popular method of execution as of that time. His execution took place at the popular Bar Beach in Lagos in 1971, and it was said that a crowd of over 30,000 people turned out to witness how Dr. Oyenusi, the ferocious robber, and his gang were going to be killed. And it was said that people came from different parts of the country just to witness that execution, and it was quite massive. As Dr. Oyenusi was escorted to the execution ground, he kept smiling because in his heart he believed he wasn't going to be able to be killed by any bullet or any man. And this was put to the test as the shots started firing at him. 7 out of the 14 soldiers that were shot at Oyenusi and his gang, those 7 were asked to fire at Oyenusi alone, while the rest of the 7 were asked to fire at the 6 other robbers. And this was the end of Oyenusi as all the bullets pierced through him, and that was when his smile ended. Thank you for listening to the end. Please endeavor to subscribe to our channel and also stay tuned for more interesting crime stories from Africa. Thank you.